Hello, welcome. I think today I'm going to speed run this because I have so much to do. At this point, nobody watches anyway. This is a personal thing for me, and I enjoy it. Call it a journal of sorts. Anyway, if there is anyone listening, this is Premarket Wake Up. My name's Frank. The community that I want to grow at some point is called No More Paper Trading. There will never be any monetization of it. I will never sell memberships, signals, anything like that. Perhaps that's why nobody's joining. It's because it's free and it's real. It's organic. If I went on StockTwits and bought a couple ads, I'll give you the answer right now, and all you have to do is give me $10 a month, and I'll tell you. That's probably more than $10 a month, and I'll tell you all the best stock pits. Why don't I make them myself and just make money like that? Don't ask those questions. Just pay me money, and people do. I don't know. I often think if I didn't have morals, I would have a bit more money. Quite a bit more money. All right. Anyway, the market has been exciting, to say the least. I am very glad I set an alarm last night. And it triggered, obviously. I saw that China made a tweet, or whatever the heck China does, and sold. I don't know what my lesson is. When trading, because I'd rather just sleep through the night and not have to worry about it. When trading, the lesson would be, when you're trading major news events, rather than just normal market movements, which I don't think there's such a thing anymore. You should always be flat before going to bed. If I would have done that, I would have been up quite a bit of money. It's not really that much money, so I don't know why it upsets me. So I still made a profit. But my long-term investments are losing, so there's always that, which sucks. Anyway, I'm going to go over the overnight moves, what I think for today, and then the upcoming news. And we'll see what else. Alright, let's start with the ES. As you can see, right around midnight. Might have started before. I don't know when the exact tweet came out. In fact, it might be a good idea to look for that. It's just more tit for tat. Alright, just tell me where. It's CNN. Do you expect them to just tell you something? No, I'm not going to Instagram. I literally can't find it. I just want to know the time to see if anyone was early on that trade. You know what? It doesn't really matter. I mean, was it a tweet? What was it? Am I really going to have to go to AI? Alright, I'm not giving up on this. Let's see if AI can make this magic happen. Alright, I'm glad I didn't buy. You know what? Can't find it. It said there's no original source, just secondhand information. You know, maybe there wasn't anything. Let's see what it says on stock twits, which I Jeez, what? I can't find it. I can't. Let me post and see if anyone answers. I mean, that's terrible English. I don't know why I wrote it like that. Yeah, I don't care. People will understand, hopefully. Alright, we'll see if I get an answer. But it really picked up around, I'd say right at midnight. 5 minutes later. You can see the increase here in volume. And also at the time, I was watching time in sales and it was picking up considerably. But I wish I just would have sold before Pat. I gotta stop thinking that. You're never gonna get a perfect trade. It's not gonna happen. I should be happy with what I got. I am happy with what I got. But I wonder if anyone knew beforehand. I mean, let's look at RSI. Was that showing at least a good sign? I would say not really. I think RSI was actually showing that it was going to go up. This type of market is very hard to trade. I'm going to try it out anyway. Just quick swings. Not swings, scalps. Anyway, that's what happened in the EES. It looked like it was going to stop at yesterday's low. But now here we are again, dipping below it. So on Friday, when this bloodbath began, the 50 simple moving average, that's on a daily time frame, is where the market pretty much halted. I mean, not in the overnight. After the close, futures dipped below it, but not for long. So I would say look out for that going into right now. We'll see if price gets below that. Could be more of a bloodbath. Earnings, some earnings were good, but some were bad. But I don't know, we are in a bubble. Let's check Google Trends for AI bubble real quick. I want to show you something. I don't understand this. So you put in Google, you go to Google Trends. Look, it's like, oh, explore. I wonder why it chose bears. They put that in there, you know. I didn't put that in there. But then when you hit explore, see, then it worked. The other day when I put in terms, it didn't work. Would you look at that, though? Bears. Why Illinois? Chicago. Could that be why? Futures? No. Maybe it's a sports team. That's funny. Yeah, that is the sports team. I'm thinking it's... Wow. Anyway, let me show you. Put in something like... Hit explore. Now it works. Before, when I would do that, it would come to this page and be blank. Anyway, let's check it out. AI bubble. Yeah, we're getting up there. We are definitely getting up there. We'll see. I think the market could make some corrections. I just wish it wouldn't have happened in one day. I still made money on my longer term investments, but I could get chopped up over the next week and lose all that. But I mean, it still gains in the long run. It's a very long term strategy, which I've worked very hard to try and make it shorter and quicker to take advantage of shorter moves, you know, to be exponential. All right. Well, we recovered slightly. Who knows if that will last. The NQ, very similar to the ES. I would say it's looking a bit better than the ES because why is that orange? Damn. Well, that's backwards. I swear TradingView changes. It reverts my indicators, and I'll sometimes delete an indicator. It'll be gone for a month and then it'll come back just randomly. These are not supposed to be That color's right. That's not. So I was gonna say that NASDAQ wasn't as close to the 50 SMA, which it technically isn't. But I would say if we continue going down with this much strength, if we pass that, that would be very significant, as well as Friday's low, which very well could happen. Powell speaks later on today. I'll get into that a little bit later. My prediction is he's gonna use all the excuses, like, well, I don't know if they're excuses. Because the government shut down, blah, 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 I can't have the data, blah, blah, blah. So we might wait and see in October. That would be terrible for the market. In the short term, in this, whatever we have here. If we start to head higher, then definitely last month's close. That is a very important area. You can see it also on the daily chart here. All right, let's take a look at the Russell. In relative terms, the Russell did not retrace as much. I'm not sure why that is. With the Russell halting right at the P pivot point, which is also where it halted at in Monday night. So I'd say look at that going into the open. And of course, last month's close is important at 2455.5. The Dow, so I'm switching between the daily and the 5-minute. Dow's looking pretty weak. Since we're already kind of below the 50 SMA, I would say watch this. If the Dow does not recover above it, it could be indication that the rest of the market's going to sink below it as well. But I don't know. I don't know why I've never put time in sales. $10, $50, let's try that. Really? Yeah, well. That's weird that there's not larger orders than that. Let's say 5 and 30. keep getting, that's another example, I keep getting rid of this indicator, relative volume, and it keeps reappearing on my charts. Alright, anyway, let's move on. I'll come back to that later and adjust it. I wish it had two options, one for normal trading hours and one for the overnight. And you could switch back, because I have to change it every time basically. Every open. Gold. Let's look at gold. All-time highs in the overnight before crashing around 1:30 a.m. Who knows why? Because it was time to take profits, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. South Africa gold output. Well, it's not August now, is it? I would say look out for yesterday's opening range high. We already tipped off there once. But I'm staying away from gold right now. It's just too volatile. I don't have a reference point for if it goes up because it's brand new territory. So, and it doesn't, not the best for scalping. You have to keep your stops too wide with gold, and except for sometimes in the overnight, which lately gold has been insane. That's it. Oil crashing pretty good in the overnight, did not. It seemed to have happened around the same time as equities, with the two being linked. You know what? A thought just came to me. It would. I saw it on StockTwits too. People are saying the U.S. president's gonna right at the right time make a statement, either saying, you know, I'm keen on working with China, or let's get this shutdown over with. The government shutdown's over. Something to prop the market up, which I think he should just keep his mouth shut. I wish he didn't tweet or whatever it is he does. I want a return to last week's market where fundamentals and technicals drove it. Anyway, again, I don't have any idea for oil. We halted at the pivot point, but probably would have broken your stop. I don't think I would have placed the stop that far away. Maybe passing through would be a bullish sign again, but who knows? Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. How about that? So Bitcoin started falling long before the ES and the NQ did. I would say I gotta put my normal key areas on Bitcoin. I'm just not set on yet on what I want to trade, if it's the financial instruments or futures. I'll see how they compare and take it from there. I'm thinking whatever gives me better leverage. Anyway, you see a decline starting from around 8 or 9, and volume goes up considerably. Last night, 8 or 9 last night, 10:15. Whereas I guess you could argue the NQ started falling around then too. I don't know. All right, let's take a look at the VIX. We got a W. I guess that's good. If we break this neckline right here, that might be a good signal that we're gonna head back up, but I don't know. I think I will put in a longer term trade in one of the equities. All right, let's take a look at news for today. I'm not a fan of their new calendar. I'm searching for another one. So we have Powell's speech at 12:20. I will not be trading around then. That's, like I said earlier, a lot of people are going to watch that. My prediction is that he's going to say, I think it's best to not cut in October because I don't have data and I need data to blah, 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 blah. And I bet you if we go to the FedWatch tool, it might represent that same sentiment. Well, it's down a little bit from yesterday, but I thought yesterday was down from the day before. Am I looking at this wrong? What's the current rate? Well, it's still pretty high. It's actually higher for December. I wonder if people think because, if we have a really bad bear market, will they cut just to save the market? I don't know. I think that's a bad idea, but I don't get paid for my opinions. And what else do we have? A couple other Fed speeches. And then tonight, China releases CPI. All right, let's check and see if anyone answered my question. Nope. No one could. Great. So who even knows if it really happened, or if they're taking a piece of information from earlier. Let's take a look. I don't yet know how to use Twitter properly. How do I see? Now, are these replies to? I don't know if I can show this page. Why not? Are these? This is what I found. 12:43 a.m. Again, that's late. That's later than it started dropping, and I heard the rumors on StockTwits that they released something or said something. Now, are these? I'm guessing these are replies to this tweet. Source, please. I'm going to put the quote in and see if GPT can find it. Again, this is the technology that we're putting all our hopes on to deliver a strong economy. It's ridiculous. Let me search it just on Google, since the AI is taking forever. So they said it a while ago. 2 days ago. I think I might have misunderstood. I don't think I'm going to be able to find this. Great. It's impossible to find anything. I'm going to try one of the other stupid bots. Again, it's the same stuff. Yes, but when did they... I didn't reference that. So there was no trigger for that. It just, I guess it's the start of the restrictions on shipping vessels, I guess. That's the only thing, information I can get. Again, this is technology that's supposed to improve our lives, and yet it's doubly hard than it used to be to find any real information, which is maybe what they want. It's a lot easier to mold people if everyone goes to the same chatbot. The future is bleak looking indeed. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Pretty boring day. Well, not really. Interesting, we'll call it. Alright, I'm out of here. Good luck. Goodbye.